Hi everyone, it is Trixie Tutor here, and I thought I would make a vlog since I'm bored as fuck and I don't want to really get on Netflix at the moment. Um, in this vlog, I haven't decided if I want it to be a rant video or not. I'm seriously think it's going to be another rant because I have a lot of things that kind of piss me off at the moment. So, first and foremost, this is not about anybody in particular. Because I've been dealing with a crap lot of friend drama. They've been bringing their drama to me. I've been helping them out with the situation. Shit like that. So, basically, I have this friend. We're going to name her Bianca. Bianca. Um, basically, the other day, or a few days ago, maybe it was even a few weeks ago. I can't even remember. It's been so long. She goes through and she messages me on Facebook or whatever. And she goes through and she tells me that she went through one of her friend's phones. And of course, me being me, I'm like, okay, well, why the fuck would you do that? That's an invasion of privacy. Nobody should do that. She goes, well, I was curious. I just wanted to know because I sensed that something was up. I'm like, okay, fine. What happened? She goes through and she just flat out tells me, okay, so I found out that one of my friend or that this friend goes through went through and was talking to somebody and basically said just a bunch of bullshit about me. Ton of bullshit that I don't want anything to or I don't want anything from them or not what it, I don't even remember what she fully like what the full bullshit was, but I just know that it was basically backstabbing, talking shit. And then she goes through and she says, and yet this friend acts like everything's okay. Now, being me, that whole situation just pissed me off. Like, it completely pissed me off. And, like, and the reason why is because if you're friends with somebody and you have a problem with them, you need to fucking tell them instead of going through and going behind their back and being like, oh, hey, to somebody else and just basically blasting them saying that they're a really bad friend and that they're gonna do something that they would never fucking do in the first place. I'm sorry, but that's just how that works. If you have a problem with somebody, fucking tell them instead of being a complete cunt about it. Because that's how life works. You don't go through and you don't go behind somebody's back. And then when you see them in person, be sweet and kind and give so many fucks, and yet you didn't give a fuck when you were going through and talking to somebody and saying that they were a bad friend and they used you and yada yada yada. That's not. Oh my god, I have something in my eye. That is not how that works. And that's the one thing that like she goes through and she tells me that, and I'm just like, okay, dude, you need to just back the fuck off that person, and you need to basically say like you don't tell them the real reason, even though you technically should, but that'll just fuck up the relationship more. Actually, no, I take that back. You go through and you tell the person what you did, and then you go through and you just flat out say, okay, if you have a problem with me, fucking tell me. And since you didn't, I'm done with you. She did that, and then I think it was like yesterday or something. That said, that same friend that she had goes through and calls her up and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, yada yada yada. I needed somebody to vent to, and yada yada yada." And she's talking to me at the exact same time. We were talking over Facebook, and she's just like, "What the fuck should I do?" And she's like, "Say apology not accepted," because you don't go behind somebody's back and do that. That's just my opinion. You have to go through, and if you're friends with somebody, you actually have to give a fuck. about that person's feelings. Don't go behind their back. Don't be a complete dick. That's not, I'm sorry, but no. And don't just assume the worst out of that person when that person has supported you for however long that you've known each other. And it pissed me off more than it should have. But then again, I'm really good friends with her. I've known her for like ever. And she goes through and she tells me that. I'm just like, just tell him to fuck off. Because that's not the kind of friend you need. This is showing through my glasses. Holy shit. Nope. Okay. And then another thing. This is a completely different friend. We're going to call him Johnny. Well, that's no. That's only because my Mad Hatter's over there and it's Johnny yet. Or no, we're not going to do that. We're going to name him Alex. His name's going to be Alex. And again, this is not about anybody in particular. I just really need to get this off my chest because I've been dealing with a fuckload of shit, and I just really need to bitch about it. So my friend Alex goes through, and it's like a few months ago, and I just kind of let it die down because he said everything was fine now, whatever. But he goes through, and he's like, hey, what's up? And I go, well, nothing much. Just literally nothing much. And he goes through and he says, okay, well, I need advice about something. I'm like, okay, shoot. I'm good with helping people out in their time of need. Not that big of a fucking deal to me. I just don't care. And he goes through and just says, okay, well, what do I do if somebody overreacts about a situation? And goes through and tells me I'm lying when I'm not. And goes through and accuses me of shit that I would never do. And I'm just like, okay, well, what do you mean? And he goes, well, for some odd reason, one of my friends thought that I was talking about them when I wasn't, and instantly treated me like shit afterwards and overreacted, and it just all exploded. Now, I've been in that situation before. In fact, I was in that situation before a few weeks ago, honestly. And I just let it die down because I really just wasn't in the mood for that shit. Like, I'm never in the mood for that shit. I hate drama. And that whole situation that I was in, it could have been completely avoided. And I get that it was on my part, it was mishandled, but it was also mishandled on that other person's part. Because I had gone through and I had made a status on Facebook saying such and such and such, and then they thought that it was about them. I told them, no, I didn't even know that you did this. They thought I was lying when I wasn't. It completely exploded. So I've been in that situation before, and so I just flat out said, you know what, you just need to let it die down. That's basically just what you need to do, because they're overreacting for no reason. If you just flat out say, okay, no, I didn't know that you were doing this, that person should have the complete trust in you to believe, oh, hey, they really didn't honestly know. That was what my whole situation was. I had known the person since I was like a sophomore in high school, give or take. And they had graduated the year that we got into the new school. I don't even know, but we had known each other forever, and I wouldn't go through and be like, yeah, I'm totally talking about you on Facebook. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't blast somebody on Facebook. That's not the kind of person that I am. If I have a problem with somebody, I just upfront and tell them. I don't go behind their back and do shit like that. And so my friend, or Alex, was just like, okay, fine, I'll let it happen. And a few weeks ago, he's like, okay, well, everything's fine now. I'm like, okay, cool, because that's how it is. It will end up being okay. You guys are gonna fight. That's what friends do. You fight, but then you're back together. It's your true friends will be with you 100%, no matter. Sorry, my mom just texted me, but they'll be with you no matter what. Like it doesn't fucking matter. They'll be with you no matter what. You could fight. You could bitch each other out, saying this, this, and this, and they'll be with you no matter what because that's what true friends do. Oh, for fuck's sake. Good God. And basically, that's just what this whole rant is about is like friends. You know, me, I don't have, like, I have friends, but I don't have that many. And it's partially because I've got social anxiety like a bitch, and yet I can try to make friends because I'm trying to get out of that shell that I have. But the thing is 9 times out of 10, when I become really good friends with somebody, they seem to think that I'm gonna do something that I'm not gonna do. And that's just what pisses me the fuck off. Because I know I'm like my mom in a fuckload of ways. I can't say no. I I'm always there for somebody when they need me. So I'm like my mother in a fuckload of ways, even though I can't stand her 99% of the time. But at the same time, I'm not like her in the way that, I'll be completely honest, she goes through and she talks about her friends behind her back. Or behind their back. Of course, then again, her friends do the exact same thing because I've heard it. But at the same fucking time, I'm not going to do that to my friends. You know, they're my friends. I give a fuck. And 9 times out of 10, you know, when become really good friends with somebody, they're not my friend anymore. They're part of my family. And it really pisses me off when people seem to think the worst of somebody and go through and go behind their back and talk smack about them to another person, expecting that person that they were talking shit about not to find out. Because we may not find out, but we'll know that something's wrong. Because that's just the kind of people that we are. We'll fucking know. And that's the whole thing that, like, pissed me off in the first place with both of those friends. I'm like, you know, real friends wouldn't do that. Real friends will tell you up to your face what the fuck you did, that you need to fucking fix it, or they're gonna be gone. Bring Me the Horizon has flat out said true friends stab you in the front, and that's exactly what friends are supposed to fucking do. Okay then. It's just what I shouldn't be as adamant about this as I am, but I am because it pisses me off beyond belief because I've had friends do this to me in the past. I've lost a friend that I had known since first grade because basically she kept getting me into her fucking relationship with somebody else, and when they had broken up, I just flat out said, okay, I don't agree with the way that you broke up with them. And she thought that I was siding with the other person when I wasn't. I was just flat out saying, okay, one, you don't break up with somebody over Facebook. You don't break up with somebody over the phone. You don't break up with somebody over email. You just don't do it. And I get that, okay, if it's a long distance relationship, fine. Cool. But you don't do it over a text message or over Facebook. Have the decency and grow a pair to call them. And she just flat out said, okay, you know what? So much for you being a friend. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't pick sides unless it's 100% needed. But I'm not the kind of person to pick sides. And I'm not the kind of person to go through and talk behind somebody's back. Unless I'm completely fucking pissed off, which is really, really rare. And that whole situation with one of my friends a few weeks ago where I had posted something on Facebook, and 9 times out of 10 when I post something on Facebook, I'm like, okay, one, this is not about anybody, because it's never is. And they went through and they're basically, I thought it was about them, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, you know, if the shoe fits, wear it. I'll be a complete bitch and I'm like, okay, if the shoe fits, fucking wear it. Because if it's not about somebody, it's not about somebody. And if you went through and you did something like that, and the other person didn't know about it, fine. Shoe fits you, wear it. And that was just the whole thing that pissed me off, was like, they went through, it wasn't even, I'm not going to put pronouns on it because that's just going to piss them off even more and I don't want to deal with it. But they went through and they just completely admitted, okay, yeah, I've been talking to this person again. And yeah, I went through and I deleted your comments. And in my head, I'm going, what the actual fuck? Okay, cool. But I didn't fucking know that you did that. And so if I didn't know that you did that, why would this be about you? And that's just one of the reasons why I fucking hate social media, and yet I can't get enough of it because it helps me connect with people that I barely talk to. And it's like people fucking overreact about the stupidest shit. And it's really just, it's the stupidest shit. You know, 9 times out of 10, my generation after me, generations what like until, you know, the babies, we do tend to overreact. Everyone tends to overreact. It's just a part of human nature. But 20-year-olds and 13 to 19-year-olds, and then which like we tend to be more adult about situations than adults do. We know how to deal with it, and it's sad to say, but it's true. Because I'll be completely honest, my mom, complete, complete. She's psycho sometimes, and you know, she's. It's really difficult to talk about it, but I might as well, because I might as well just make this a really long fucking video. I don't even care. But she may not think that she was, but she was. She was emotionally abusive to me. She said so much shit to me when I was little. And I've had enough of it. So 9 times out of 10, when she's being a bitch to me, I'd be a bitch right back. That's my whole thing, is like, if you're gonna be a bitch, I'm gonna be a bitch right back, because I don't deal with that shit. But, you know, people just, social media is not a good place to go through and start a fight. And I wish people would fucking learn that. Oh my fucking god, I'm busy. Jesus Christ. Hi, Kitty. But, like, it's not a good place to fight. And I wish people would learn that. Like, if you have a go through, and if that person is in the same town as you, like, go through, grow a pair, get up, meet with each other, and just have a civil conversation. And talk out your frustrations with other people instead of going through and starting it over a Facebook message, or going through and starting it over a Facebook comment or a Facebook status. Grow the fuck up, people. You know, this is 2016. We should not be letting other people we should not let people be complete assholes. to us. And if you have an issue with somebody, fucking tell them. Don't go behind their back. Like, just don't. It's not happening. Casey, you're gonna be a star in this video. Like, just, it's, don't do that because that's low. So, my whole message of this video, grow the fuck up. That's basically it. It's like, grow the fuck up. You know, be mature adults. Because this is 2016. We should not be this bad with each other. Because before social media and everything, our grandparents and our great grandparents went through and they talked shit out with other people. Instead of basically ignoring the whole situation. But I am going to go so I can respond to my mother. But you guys are amazing. You're smart. You're beautiful. You're talented. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And I will see you all next week. Yeah, next week. Because I have nothing better to do with my life now. So I'm going to try this weekly vlog thing again. Okay. Bye.